ZL Entertainment.
Martin?
What? Why?
Well, from what little I understand of time travel, if you help me rebuild the time machine, your presence in the repair efforts could cause some sort of temporal paradox after we return to 1931.
So what am I supposed to do? Just hang out here in Bizarro Hill Valley until you fix the time machine?
Exactly. But don't worry, if things work out according to plan, you won't even notice I'm gone.
You know, for a second there, you sounded almost as confusing as the real Doc.
See? We're making progress already. See you soon, Martin.
Good luck, Your Honor.
Oh, and you might want to stay off the streets for a few seconds.
Stay off the street. Citizen Brown? Emmett?
Okay.
He's not coming back, you know.
What are you talking about?
Emmett, without me to guide him, he's almost useless. Before I found him, he was a miserable failure who never finished anything. But with me to inspire him, look at what we've built!
Yeah, but you inspired
Yeah,
him.
you've
to bad
inspired him
things.
all right. Inspired him to turn Hill Valley into a bunch of uptight dorks.
I wouldn't expect a delinquent like you to understand.
He's capable of doing great things.
You think you've
without
inspired Doc? I'll have you know that without you, Emmett Brown is destined to build a time-traveling DeLorean and a flying time train.
Preposterous! Emmett couldn't even build a dog feeder without me to guide him.
Yeah, well, he did that too. Not the only inspiration in Doc's life, you know. In my timeline, he married one of the sweetest women of the 19th century.
Sweetness. Blech. Emmett needs discipline to stay focused. He's so easily distracted.
Okay, Your Honor. Starting to get a little concerned here.
It worked! Ha ha! 1 second I'm in the present, the next I'm 6 months in the past! Amazing!
6 months? It took you 6 months to repair the time machine?
6 months, my family fortune, and a sketchy deal with a gang of Libyan nationals. But it was all worth it for this moment. Ha ha!
Emmett, don't do this. You need help.
Oh, blow it out of your exhaust port, dear. Now that I've escaped into the past, your pack of divorce lawyers can't... Martin, how long have you been waiting for me?
A couple of minutes, maybe?
That's curious. I set the repair time circuits to arrive only a couple of seconds after I left. Oh, well, I'm sure there's no need for concern. It's probably just a minor miscalibration of the time circuits. Here,
What's this?
clothes for our trip. We can't have you traipsing around 1931 in that ridiculous outfit.
Wait, our trip?
You didn't think I was going to let you erase the worst mistake of my life without my help, did you?
Fine, leave. I'll ruin you, Emmett! I run this town!
Well then,
Time circuit set for August 26, 1931. You ready to go, Your Honor?
Call me Doc.
awesome. Well then.
This is where I last saw him. You, teenage you. You were headed this way, arm in arm with Edna.
Luckily, my erstwhile wife was never the type to kiss on a first date. If we work fast and stay focused, we can see to it that our relationship never moves beyond the hand-holding stage. Well, will you look at that? The old town theater.
What about it?
What about it?
I haven't thought about this place in years. The missus made me tear it down back in '71. Said the movies were corrupting the younger generation. It was all nonsense, of course. I spent countless evenings here in my youth, and it never turned me into a hoodlum. Say, remember Public Enemy? Why, you dirty rat, no good yellow-bellied stool? Never did manage to see Frankenstein, though.
That's what caused the whole problem, remember? We've got to get young you to see Frankenstein.
Right, of course. The film that was supposed to set off a chain reaction in my imagination, inspire me with a notion that would launch my scientific career.
You've still got no memory of what that notion was?
Well, how could I? It happened in the brain of a different Emmett Brown. An Emmett Brown now erased by the shifting sands of time. Luckily for us, I do know something about my own brain, having lived in it for the past 70-plus years. Once we get my younger self inspired by that movie, nothing will distract him from his proper... Great Scott, will you look at that?
The town square?
It's just like I remember it, only dirtier. Oh, the old courthouse.
Come on now, Doc, you need to... Go inside and check it out. First rule of time travel, Doc, never allow your other self to catch sight of you. It could cause reality to collapse or something.
You mean?
Right behind you. Don't peek. Go on. I'll let you know when you're gone. And don't forget, you're Carl Sagan.
The billions and billions guy?
The suspected arsonist.
Huh?
Just go with it.
Ah, man, we're spending a lot of time in 1931 in this game. What is the goal? Okay. How will we do that?
Michael! You do show up at the oddest moments. Where have you been hiding?
In the dystopia you created.
Here and there, you're a little hard to pin down yourself. I went looking for you last night, but...
I believe I was off entertaining a beautiful lady. You know, I never really got a chance to thank you.
Well, I'm sure you would have escaped Kid on your own.
Kid? Oh, sure, I'm grateful for that, but no, I'm talking about Edna. It's funny to think of now, but until that crisis, I actually thought Edna and I disliked one another. Imagine!
Yeah, well, sometimes first impressions are right. The thing is, you shouldn't let Edna distract you from, you know, the business at hand. Finishing your project for the Expo and going to see Frankenstein.
Oh, pshaw. I'm far too busy for movies these days.
But,
And as for my project, it's practically done.
the rocket car?
The rocket car? Boy, are you out of date. I've junked the rocket car.
But,
More trouble than it's worth. I'll never figure out a propulsion system that does what I want it to do. And besides, its social utility is practically non-existent.
no,
Give
you were
up on
really
it.
onto something with the rocket car. You've just gotta...
The mental alignment meter is a much more worthy project.
The what?
It was Edna's idea, and she's really been cracking the whip to get me to complete it in time for the Expo.
Emmett, I'm a little confused here. What
Only
day
been one
is
day.
it?
Why, it's opening day. The opening day of the Expo. Which reminds me, I'd better skedaddle back to the lab. If Edna catches me dawdling, there'll be heck to pay. Catch you around, Corleone.
October 12th. Doc?
Oh boy, always this cliched mess with this series. Well then, I wonder how we'll get out of it. let's go and get speaking with our friend here.
Come to think of it, it is a bit brisk for August.
Oh, we're 2 months late. The expo's about to start and teenage you is already in over his head with Edna.
I always did have a tendency to plunge into things.
Let's plunge into the DeLorean and get to the right date.
No, it's far too risky. Remember how I was late picking you up in '86?
Yeah?
That should have been a tip-off. Something is horribly wrong with the time circuits, and the problem appears to be getting worse. If we try to jump now, we could find ourselves stranded in the Cenozoic age. Oh, worse, the Mesozoic.
Then we're stuck?
For the time being, I'll look into the problem and see what I can do. In the meantime, you can go to work on the other problem.
Right. I'll go to the lab and see if I can talk teenage you out of...
Impossible. If young me is already as infatuated as you say, you're not going to be able to talk him out of anything. Believe me, I remember. Better to focus on the more clear-headed half of the couple.
Edna? Where can I find her?
Where do you think? I'll drive. The DeLorean should still function adequately as a means of conveyance in the first 3 dimensions.
Well then. This is gonna be interesting.
You were right. There she is.
My soon-to-be ex-future wife is nothing if not predictable.
Do I really have to talk to her? I mean, couldn't I just hang out until you fix the time circuits and...
Ah!
I'll talk to her. You better get the DeLorean out of sight before someone...
Hey, you! Quit blocking the drive! All Car of the Future contestants need to report to the North Tent.
Why not? Good luck!
Why not? Well then. Oh boy. Let's see how things are gonna go. Is that Arthur over there at the booth? Of course it is.
Hey, Artie! Officer!
Officer,
Right. Don't blow your cover.
will you please keep your mind on the task at hand?
Can't talk right now.
Spell it B-R-O-W-N. It's not exactly an obscure name.
I still don't see it on the list. I'm sorry.
Oh, for the love... Let me try this one more time. This is the Hill Valley Science Expo, right?
First annual.
Indeed. The purpose of our fair is to showcase cutting-edge technology.
That's right. And to burnish Hill Valley's reputation as a forward-thinking community.
And yet, you want to exclude the maker of the most revolutionary breakthrough of all.
It's not that I want to, but... Oh, dear.
Mr. Corleone! You do pop up at the oddest times. What are you doing here?
Preventing a terrible
Whatever it
future.
is, I hope you don't have to deal with Mr. Stonewall here. His sole function seems to be preventing people from accomplishing their business. Honestly, with him keeping the books, it's a wonder the Tannen gang got as far as they did. Have you seen Emmett?
No.
Then you've heard all about his big breakthrough, the mental alignment meter. Isn't it exciting? And to think, he didn't even realize the import of his discovery until I pointed it out to him. I've never known anyone like him, so oblivious to his own potential.
I kind of wanted to talk to you about Emmett and his potential.
Funny, I didn't spot it myself at first. In fact, for the longest time, I thought I didn't even like him.
Yeah.
You know, first impressions
You know,
are
those gut
telling.
instincts are important. If you disliked him right off the bat.
Oh, but I didn't know him then. Now I know him inside and out.
Yeah, but...
I appreciate your concerns, Mr. Corleone, but I can take care of myself. I know what I'm looking for in a man, and it so happens Emmett fits the bill to a T. That's Emmett Brown. Rhymes with clown, which I'm beginning to think you are.
Just a simple mix-up, I'm sure.
I've no doubt of that.
Well then. Well.
Hey, excuse me.
Not him.
Yeah?
When does the expo
Not till
open?
tonight. Anybody without official business here, please get off the grounds! You got official
Man, that
business
guy
here?
is-
Yeah.
That guy's a bit of a
Well,
dick.
stay out of the way of the workers. You look familiar. Do I know you?
Nope.
I think I remember him. It's the guy who keeps thinking everybody's trying to take his girl. Let's see what we have here then.
It's not as nice as my truck back in '86. Jeez, I hope I still have a truck back in '86.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna have to use a hint. I don't want to be just randomly crapping on about here. But I'm sure I'll find something. I'll probably talk to him about it. Let's take a look. Oh, let's look at the Cars of the Future tent first.
Come see the Cars of the Future. Brought to you by Statler DeSoto.
Okay.
I'm
check out
not
the
sure
DeLorean.
if I've learned everything I can from Edna.
Well,
I talked to her.
and?
She says she knows what she's looking for, and it's you.
But it can't be me. Wasn't me. Marty, we don't belong together.
You don't have to tell me that.
Find out exactly what her requirements are. I can almost guarantee you that I don't fit them.
Alright. Let's see what we can get.
You said that Emmett fits your bill of requirements for a man.
Yes?
What would that list be exactly?
You'd make a good reporter, Mr. Corleone, you know that? Well, his physical appearance for one thing. Emmett may not be Clark Gable, but he cleans up surprisingly well.
He
I
breaks
gave
out
him
a
my
notebook.
grandfather's white suit to wear at the expo. Oh, you should see him in it. He looks positively radiant.
Looks good in a suit. Got it.
And he's completely devoted to me. That's important. I've got no time or tolerance for playboys.
Faithful as a Labrador. Check.
Thirdly, and most important,
Yes?
well, his mind, of course. It's brilliant, and it's virtuous through and through. His own mind map shows him to be a model citizen.
Good brain. I see. And if it turned out that you were mistaken about any of these qualities,
Say, what's your game?
just curious, just trying to understand the female mind.
Well, understand this. I'm not some faint-hearted girl who'd run away at the first hint of trouble. I've made a big investment in Emmett. Not money, but I've sunk all my ambitions into him. I'd have to be thoroughly disillusioned before I'd call it quits with Emmett. Got it?
Uh-huh.
Now, Mr. Cub Reporter, is there anything else?
What
What
is
the
a
heck is this mental
meter?
alignment meter of Emmett's?
Oh, it's an absolutely revolutionary invention! Measures a person's affinities, what he's attracted to, what he's repulsed by, that sort of thing.
Interesting. And it really works?
It is
Well, of course!
Kinda
What's
is
the point of inventing something that doesn't work? Or, anyway, it works well enough for my purposes.
Emmett's a
Rather
chick
hard for
magnet?
me to picture Emmett as a chick magnet.
Chick magnet?
A guy who gets the girls, motors running.
Motors?
Who makes them, you know.
You mean a chic?
Yeah.
Well, it's a matter of taste, I suppose, but when he's properly pomaded and decked out in my grandfather's white suit, Emmett just glows. Makes my heart flutter a bit just to picture him.
Okay.
That's all the questions I got.
Very well then.